Metanomics is brought to you by Remedy Communications and Doosan Writers Metaverse.
Talking about virtual environments, it made the most sense to actually patch in a virtual environment, and we have two guests who are joining us from Second Life. They're actually on a stage in Second Life, and there's about 200 people watching them right now in a virtual environment, and this is also being streamed to the web. We're joined by Steve Aguiar, also of the Naval Underseas Warfare Center, and Neil Katz of IBM. And so that's who's joining us in World. And we really thought, there's been so many case studies, use cases, examples of technology here at the conference. What we wanted to do was get some of your use cases and to find out people who have been using Second Life Enterprise for the last 6 months or a year, find out what they've been using it for, so we can kind of get a sense of the range of applications that you folks here in the audience might want to think about. So I'm going to start here at our live panel and welcome Doug Maxwell. Doug is a staff researcher at the Center for Advanced System Technology at NUWC, and welcome. And maybe share a little bit about what you've been doing behind the firewall.
Oh, well, thank you, Mark and Doug. We have a number of research goals. We go beyond just the normal training applications that we can also discuss a bit later. But we would also like to create a collaborative engineering environment using virtual worlds. What we would like to do is be able to prototype next generation combat attack centers inside of submarines and be able to quickly and efficiently show alternate designs. We would also like to connect to the shipyards and the fleet users and bring the fleet users in earlier in the design phase so that we can catch any issues earlier. I believe Steve will have some other comments on our training applications. One thing that has attracted us to the Second Life framework is it has a very robust external communications mechanism. So we can also link objects in world to legacy simulators that we've spent quite a bit of time and resources developing elsewhere. So, for example, we can have an unmanned vehicle as a model represented inside of Second Life, driven by one of our legacy behavioral models outside. And I could go on and on. But,
well, we'll pass it over to your
highlights.
We'll pass it over to your colleague. Steve Aguiar is also of the Naval Underseas Warfare Center. He was appointed the project lead for the Virtual Worlds Exploration and Application Program. Steve, welcome to our session.
Thank you. It's a real honor to be here. Having worked with the technology for a while, it's really interesting to talk about this. I will just start out by saying that every week or so we are finding new ways of using this, and it's a very interesting process to go through. As Doug talked about our collaborative engineering examples with design of command and controls for new submarines, I'll just throw in an anecdote that last week I was attending a conference in Sweden, and right in the middle of the conference support, I'm working with engineers back in Newport designing these combat control systems. So the remote accessibility of this stuff is really important. But just to emphasize a little on the training example, you think very simply of distributed learning, say with classroom training, but we're also using it for scenario simulation, using real operational areas and real tactical missions. Contextual or immersive learning, where the power of the virtual world is allowing your student to be immersed in information spaces that otherwise wasn't possible. We're also looking at procedural training and even just simple augmentation of legacy content such as Flash. So we're not replacing all our training content. We're augmenting it with the virtual world capacities.
Awesome. So our fourth panelist, I guess, is Neil Katz, who is an IBM Distinguished Engineer and a member of the IBM Academy for Technology. Welcome, Neil.
Welcome. Thank you for having me here.
What kind of range of use cases are you seeing for immersive or virtual world technology at IBM?
Well, I think many of the use cases that Mark addressed is really what we're seeing it being used for. In a large globally distributed company, like IBM, we have teams that help us in emerging geographies, India, China, and then across the U.S. Even my team, we're not all together, with members in Austin and myself in South Florida and Burlington, New York, and so in this day when it's just that much harder to get together, we see using this for meetings and large events where it gives a very immersive and interactive and collaborative experience that you can't get by other means such as web meetings. Not that this is a replacement for them, but it provides that alternative. In addition, of course, using it for learning, and learning activities and other type of collaborative activities are other use cases that we're applying the use for virtual worlds inside our enterprise.